Number 1. Not supervising kids at the buffet. One of the biggest mistakes people make at the cruise buffet is not supervising their kids. It's easy to assume they'll know how to behave, but young children don't always understand proper etiquette. You might see a child touch food with their hands, lick something and put it back, or take way too long deciding what they want while holding up the line. These things may seem small, but they can spread germs and frustrate other passengers trying to enjoy their meal. As a parent, it's your job to make sure your kids know the right way to act at the buffet. Teach them to use utensils, take only what they plan to eat, and move quickly so others don't have to wait. If they're too young to manage this on their own, walk with them and help them make choices. It's also a good idea to remind them not to touch anything they're not taking and to use a napkin instead of their hands. These little lessons can make a big difference in keeping the buffet clean and enjoyable for everyone. If your kids aren't ready to follow these rules on their own, don't let them go through the buffet without you. It's better to take a few extra minutes to guide them than to have other passengers annoyed or even risk someone getting sick. Cruise buffets are meant to be a fun and stress-free way to enjoy a meal, and a little supervision goes a long way in making sure everyone has a great experience. Number 2. Using the same serving utensil for multiple dishes. A common mistake at cruise buffets is using the same serving utensil for multiple dishes. It might not seem like a big deal to grab the mac and cheese spoon to scoop some mashed potatoes, but this can actually be a serious problem. Cross-contamination happens when food particles mix, which can be dangerous for people with allergies or dietary restrictions. Someone with a gluten intolerance, for example, could get sick just because a spoon that touched pasta was also used for a different dish. To avoid this, always use the correct serving utensil for each food item. If a spoon or tong is missing, don't just grab the closest one, ask a crew member for help. Also, never rest a utensil in the food with the handle touching what people are about to eat. It's an easy mistake, but it spreads germs and makes the dish less appealing for the next person in line. Keeping utensils in the right place helps make sure the buffet stays safe and clean for everyone. If you accidentally drop a utensil into a dish, don't just pick it up and put it back the way it was. Instead, let a crew member know so they can replace it properly. Cruise staff work hard to keep the buffet running smoothly, and small actions like this make their job easier while keeping the dining experience enjoyable for all passengers. A little extra care goes a long way in making sure everyone can enjoy their meal without worry. Number 3. Picking out parts of a dish. One of the most frustrating things people do at a cruise buffet is picking out certain parts of a dish. It might be tempting to take just the shrimp from the pasta or grab all the pepperoni off a pizza, but this isn't fair to other passengers. When people take only the best parts, it leaves behind an unbalanced dish that no one else wants. Imagine going up to get a slice of pizza and finding nothing but plain cheese because someone took all the toppings. It's not just rude, it makes the buffet less enjoyable for everyone. Buffets are designed so that everyone gets a fair share of what's offered. If you only want shrimp, go to the seafood section instead of digging through a pasta dish. If you're craving extra toppings, consider getting a whole slice of pizza instead of just picking at one. The best way to enjoy the buffet is to take food as it's prepared, not to rearrange it to fit your personal tastes. This way, every passenger has a chance to enjoy a well-balanced, appetizing meal. Not only is picking through food inconsiderate, but it also makes dishes look unappealing for others. No one wants to see a half-empty tray of stir-fry with just a few vegetables left because all the meat was taken. If everyone follows buffet etiquette and serves themselves properly, the food will stay fresh, appealing, and fair for all guests. Being mindful of others helps create a better dining experience for everyone on board. Number 4. Wasting food. Wasting food is one of the biggest mistakes people make at a cruise buffet. With so many delicious options, it's easy to pile your plate high with everything that looks good. But what happens when you take a bite and realize something isn't as tasty as you expected? If your plate is already full, most of that food is going straight into the trash. Not only is this wasteful, but it also makes it harder for the kitchen staff to keep up with demand, especially during busy mealtimes. The best way to avoid wasting food is to start small. Instead of filling your plate all at once, take a little bit of what interests you, try it, and then go back for more of what you actually enjoy. This is especially important for unfamiliar dishes. You might think you'll love that spicy curry or rich dessert, but it's better to test it first rather than commit to a full serving. By taking smaller portions, you'll waste less food and still get to enjoy a variety of flavors without feeling guilty about leaving food behind. Another way to cut down on waste is to be realistic about how much you can actually eat. It's tempting to treat a buffet like an all-you-can-eat challenge, but remember, you can always go back for seconds. There's no need to rush or overload your plate just because everything looks good in the moment. A little self-control goes a long way in making sure you enjoy your meal without wasting food that someone else could have enjoyed. Number 5. Putting food back after taking it. One of the worst mistakes you can make at a cruise buffet is putting food back after you've taken it. A buffet isn't a try-before-you-buy situation. Once you pick something up, it's yours. Placing food back on the serving tray after it's touched your plate or hands is not just gross, it's a serious hygiene issue. Think of it like using a tissue and then putting it back in the box. No one else wants that, and the same goes for food at the buffet. If you're not sure whether you'll like something, take a small portion instead of a full serving. This way, if it's not what you expected, there's less waste and you won't be tempted to put it back. Cruise buffets offer endless options, so there's no need to fill your plate with things you're unsure about. Be mindful of what you take, and remember that it's better to make multiple trips than to grab too much and regret it later. This rule applies to more than just food. Drinks, plates, and utensils should also never be returned once you've picked them up. If you grab a glass of water and change your mind, don't put it back. Just leave it at your table or give it to a crew member. Keeping the buffet clean and sanitary is a shared responsibility, and small actions like this help ensure that every passenger has a safe and pleasant dining experience. Number 6. Bringing used plates back to the buffet. Bringing a used plate back to the buffet is one of the easiest ways to spread germs, yet many people still do it. It might seem harmless to reuse the same plate for seconds, but once you've eaten from it, bacteria and food particles are left behind. When that plate gets too close to the serving trays, it can contaminate the fresh food that other passengers are about to eat. Cruise buffets are designed to keep things as sanitary as possible, but that only works if everyone follows basic hygiene rules. Instead of reusing your plate, always grab a clean one before going back for more food. Cruise ships provide unlimited plates, so there's no reason to hold on to the same one. It might seem like a small inconvenience, but taking a fresh plate helps keep the buffet safe for everyone. This is especially important for preventing illnesses like norovirus, which can spread quickly on a cruise if people aren't careful about hygiene. Another good habit is to place your used plate on the table and let the crew take care of it. Cruise staff work hard to clear tables quickly, so you don't need to worry about cleaning up after yourself. By using a new plate every time and letting the staff handle the dirty dishes, you'll be doing your part to keep the buffet clean, safe, and enjoyable for all passengers. Number 7. Eating while in line. Eating while standing in line at the buffet might not seem like a big deal, but it's actually a fast way to spread germs. Even if you've washed your hands before getting in line, you're still touching serving utensils, trays, and other surfaces that hundreds of people have handled. The moment you take a bite of food with those same hands, any germs you've picked up are going straight into your mouth. Then, if you keep touching utensils after eating, you're passing those germs on to everyone else. The best thing to do is wait until you're seated before you start eating. Buffets move quickly, so it won't take long to get your food and find a table. Plus, eating while in line slows everything down. If you're focused on snacking, you're probably not paying attention to moving forward, and that holds up the people behind you. Waiting until you sit down also gives you a chance to enjoy your meal properly, instead of rushing bites between stations. Even if you think it's harmless to sneak a taste of something while you wait, remember that hygiene on a cruise ship is extremely important. Illnesses like norovirus spread easily in shared spaces, and simple habits, like keeping your hands clean and not eating in line, help protect you and everyone else on board. Being patient for just a few extra minutes ensures a safer, cleaner buffet experience for everyone. Number 8. Not washing hands before eating. Not washing your hands before eating at a cruise buffet is a mistake that many people make without even realizing it. You might think your hands are clean, but after touching serving utensils, condiment bottles, and even chairs, you've likely picked up germs from hundreds of other passengers. Since cruise ships are enclosed spaces where people share the same dining areas, illnesses like norovirus can spread quickly if proper hygiene isn't followed. Taking a moment to wash your hands or use hand sanitizer before eating can make a huge difference in keeping yourself and others healthy. Even if you're careful, think about everything you've touched before sitting down to eat. You've handled tongs, ladles, and serving spoons that dozens of people have used before you. If someone sneezed into their hand or didn't wash up after using the restroom, those germs are now on the utensils, and possibly on your hands. It's easy to forget, but all it takes is one absent-minded bite of food to introduce those germs into your system. This is why washing your hands before eating is just as important as washing them before handling food. A simple solution is to make hand-washing part of your buffet routine. Most cruise buffets have hand sanitizer stations at the entrance, so use them before you start filling your plate. If you want to be extra cautious, take a quick trip to the restroom to wash your hands properly with soap and water. It only takes a few seconds, but it can help prevent getting sick and keep your cruise vacation fun and worry-free. Number 9. Leaving drinks unattended. Leaving your drink unattended at a cruise buffet might not seem like a big deal, but it's a mistake that can leave you frustrated. Cruise staff work hard to keep the dining area clean, and part of their job is clearing away empty plates and cups as quickly as possible. If you set down your cappuccino or cocktail while you go back for more food, there's a good chance it won't be there when you return. You might have paid extra for that fancy drink, only to come back and find it gone. To avoid this, either finish your drink before leaving the table or take turns getting food with your dining companions. If you're eating alone and need to step away, try to leave something behind that makes it clear you're still using the table, like a jacket or personal item. However, even that isn't a guarantee. Buffet staff are trained to keep tables clean for new guests, and if a drink looks abandoned, they won't hesitate to remove it. If your drink does get cleared away, don't take it out on the crew, they're just doing their job. Instead, think ahead and plan wisely. Whether it's a specialty coffee, a cocktail, or even just a soda, treating your drink like something you don't want to lose will help you avoid unnecessary frustration. A little awareness goes a long way in making sure you get to enjoy every sip. Number 10. Leaving your table unattended. Leaving your table unattended at a cruise buffet is an easy way to lose your seat. Since buffets can get crowded, especially during peak meal times, other passengers are always on the lookout for open tables. If you and your group all leave at once to get more food, there's no way for other guests, or even the crew, to know that you're coming back. By the time you return, you might find someone else sitting at your table, and there won't be much you can do about it. The best way to avoid this problem is to take turns going up for food. Have at least one person stay behind while others go through the buffet line. This makes it clear that the table is still in use and prevents any confusion. It's also helpful to leave a visible sign that someone is still there, like a personal item or a drink, but keep in mind that staff might still clear the table if it looks abandoned for too long. A simple plan with your group can save you the hassle of finding a new table mid-meal. If you do come back to find your table taken, try to stay calm. It's frustrating, but most of the time it's just a misunderstanding. Instead of arguing, politely explain the situation or look for another seat. Being mindful of buffet etiquette not only helps you keep your table but also makes the dining experience smoother for everyone. A little planning goes a long way in making sure you enjoy your meal without the stress of searching for a new spot. Number 11. Taking too long at the buffet during busy times. Taking too long at the buffet during busy times can make the dining experience stressful for both you and other passengers. During peak hours, like breakfast before an excursion or lunch on embarkation day, the buffet gets crowded and everyone is trying to get their food quickly. If you stand in front of a station debating what to take or move slowly through the line, you can create a bottleneck that holds up the people behind you. While cruise buffets are meant to be relaxed, being mindful of time helps keep things running smoothly for everyone. One of the best ways to avoid slowing down the line is to take a quick walk around the buffet before getting in line. This way, you can see all the options ahead of time and decide what you want instead of hesitating when you reach each station. If you're unsure about a dish, take a small portion to try rather than standing there debating. And if the buffet is extremely crowded, consider checking out alternative dining spots like a cafe or specialty eatery where the lines might be shorter. At the same time, it's important to be considerate when choosing a table. If the buffet is packed, try not to linger too long after you're done eating. Enjoy your meal, have a quick chat, and then free up the space for others who are still waiting. Buffets work best when everyone moves efficiently, so being aware of the crowd and adjusting your pace accordingly helps create a better experience for all passengers. Number 12. Jumping into the first buffet line. Jumping into the first buffet line might seem like the quickest way to get your food, but it can actually slow you down. Many passengers make the mistake of getting in the nearest line without realizing that there are often multiple stations serving the same dishes. The result? You might end up waiting longer than necessary when a shorter, less crowded line is just a few steps away. Taking a moment to scan the buffet area before lining up can save you time and make your dining experience much smoother. Most cruise buffets are designed with different sections, offering a variety of food choices beyond the main serving lines. While one area might be packed with passengers, another station with the same food could be nearly empty. Instead of rushing into the first available line, take a minute to walk around and see where the shortest wait is. You might even find something better than what you originally planned to get. Being strategic about where you line up helps keep the buffet moving efficiently for everyone. When people spread out across different stations instead of crowding one area, the experience becomes more enjoyable and less stressful. So before you grab a plate and jump into line, take a quick look around. You'll likely save yourself time and have a more relaxed meal. Number 13. Ignoring healthy options. Overlooking healthy options at the cruise buffet is a mistake that many people make. With so many indulgent choices like burgers, fried foods, and rich desserts, it's easy to load up on comfort food and ignore the fruits, vegetables, and lighter dishes. While there's nothing wrong with treating yourself on vacation, eating only heavy, greasy foods for several days can leave you feeling sluggish and uncomfortable. Balancing your meals with some healthier options can help you feel better throughout your trip. One simple way to add variety to your plate is to start with a small salad or some fresh fruit. Many cruise buffets offer made-to-order omelets, grilled fish, and steamed vegetables that taste great without being too heavy. You don't have to skip the foods you love, but mixing in some nutritious choices will keep you energized and help you avoid that overly full, bloated feeling that can come from eating too much fried or sugary food. Plus, staying hydrated and choosing lighter meals during the day can help you enjoy those special dinners without feeling weighed down. On shorter cruises, indulging for a few days might not be a big deal, but on longer trips, making smarter food choices can make a huge difference. If you want to fully enjoy all the activities on board, whether it's exploring a new port, swimming, or dancing at a deck party, it helps to eat in a way that keeps you feeling your best. Cruise buffets offer plenty of delicious, healthier options. You just have to take advantage of them. Number 14. Skipping made-to-order stations. Skipping the made-to-order stations at a cruise buffet is a mistake that can cost you a better meal. Many passengers go straight for the pre-prepared dishes because they're quick and easy to grab. But what they don't realize is that some of the best food on the buffet is actually found at the custom cooking stations. Whether it's an omelet in the morning, a fresh stir-fry at lunch, or a pasta dish at dinner, these stations give you food that's hot, fresh, and made exactly how you like it. Waiting in line for a made-to-order meal might take a few extra minutes, but it's almost always worth it. Unlike the food sitting under heat lamps, these dishes are cooked right in front of you, ensuring better flavor and texture. You also get to control what goes into your meal, choosing your ingredients, spice level, and toppings so you end up with something you actually want rather than just whatever is left on the buffet line. If you have dietary restrictions or allergies, these stations can also be a great way to customize your meal safely. Next time you're at the buffet, don't overlook the fresh cooking stations just because there's a small line. While other passengers grab food that's been sitting out for a while, you'll be enjoying something freshly prepared and made to your taste. A little patience can lead to a much better dining experience, making your cruise meals even more enjoyable. Number 15. Wearing improper attire. Wearing improper attire to the buffet is a mistake that can make you stand out for the wrong reasons. While cruise ships are known for their relaxed atmosphere, there are still basic dress code rules that passengers are expected to follow. Walking into the buffet barefoot or in a soaking wet swimsuit isn't just bad etiquette, it's also a safety and hygiene issue. No one wants to step in a puddle left behind by someone dripping water everywhere, and walking around barefoot in a dining area is unsanitary for both you and everyone else. Most cruise buffets have a simple dress code. Shoes and shirts are required and swimwear should be covered up. This means throwing on a t-shirt, sundress, or a light cover-up before heading to eat. Flip-flops and casual clothing are perfectly fine, but treating the buffet like an extension of the pool deck isn't. Aside from hygiene concerns, wet floors can create slipping hazards, which is why cruise lines ask guests to dry off and wear appropriate attire before entering. Following these simple guidelines ensures that the buffet remains a comfortable and clean space for everyone. It only takes a few seconds to throw on a cover-up or dry off before grabbing a meal, and it makes a big difference in keeping the dining area enjoyable for all passengers. Being mindful of what you wear helps create a better experience, not just for yourself but for everyone around you.